What's up, everyone? Jackson here. Welcome back to the Daily Endeavours for the 25th of March. Still got a pretty nasty cold, so again, I'm going to try and take this easy, but oh boy, there's a bit to go through. So, firstly, before I start Endeavours, if you want to skip through this shit, if you already know about the Golden Pursuit and of Vengeance, just skip ahead on it. Sure, there's a timestamp in there for you. But this Golden Pursuit for PvP, the rewards are just alliance points and a little bit of gold. The alliance points will be good if you do want to get one of those monster helms in the long run, whenever they come up on the golden. As you know, there's been a couple of good ones recently. But everything here is PvP related. There's a couple of really annoying ones. Only a few really. Only the town ones are really annoying. Just because there's so few. There's a lot of keeps, there's not many towns. This is the only one I would probably skip, because you only need 8 in total. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12, so you can just skip the town ones. My advice to you, yeah, just skip the town ones, maybe skip the alliance point, and whatever one you end up finishing last, just skip that as well. Probably 150 players. Now, what needs to be known, especially with the weekly, killing players, you don't have to kill them yourself, you just have to have participated in their death. So even if you just get one light attack, like a minute before they die, I'm pretty sure that still counts. As long as they don't escape combat in that time. So that's one thing to know. But the main thing I want to talk about is, before I go to that, so I think I was a bit harsh on ZeniMax the other day. I know I'm very hostile towards them usually, but I had no idea they're actually enabling Vengeance. So for those who are not familiar, I did talk about it quite a bit in Fallen Banners. The Vengeance campaign is now active in base game, in live on servers right now. So what the hell is Vengeance? Well, firstly, the sky gets a bit weird. I'm not sure what I guess it's like a Daedric campaign, and pretty much everything except for your class abilities is completely, there's no effect on anything, right? So if I take an armor piece off, right, look at this, my spell resistance, physical resistance, if I put that back on, no change. So all of this stuff here is completely irrelevant. Your stats are the same as anybody else's. You don't even have a Wonderstone, you don't even have fucking Vampirism. All you've got is your class abilities. Now, for those who love PvP and are experienced with it, I do, my hat's off to, I feel for you, I should say that. Because there is, pretty much no flexibility to your builds. You've got your 15 skills and 3 ultimates, and that's it. However, I will say, for the rest of... Oh my god, look at the fucking XP card. I will say, for the rest of the community that doesn't PvP very often, one of the biggest issues they have is builds. There are a lot of really annoying things to farm in this game, and they change constantly, right? Things get nerfed to the ground, things get buffed like crazy for some reason. Getting all the stuff here to get good PvP builds takes fucking ages. As someone who's played this game for 10 years and plays this game a lot, you have to spend a fucking lot of time getting a PvP build sorted. And if you don't, if your PvP build is all it takes is one set to be changed, and everything just goes off the rails. But now, none of that stuff matters, right? Doesn't matter what you wear here. Even this stuff here, if I put a greatsword on, I've got a gold Mother Sorrow lightning stuff, right? Best damage you can possibly get. This is a level 50 greatsword. Look at the damage, it's like half. If I put this on, no change. So, everything here, even this stuff here, these things are completely, as you can see, the potion or the sensor refill itself. So there's no, everything is infinite. So you can use as many of these things as you want, which is honestly, as someone who doesn't PvP very often, this is great, I think. Firstly, separating the balance of PvP compared to PvE, I think this makes things a lot better for ZeniMax and us in the long run, because it's a lot easier to balance 7 classes with 15 skills and 3 ults, as opposed to 7 classes with ults, weapon abilities, guild, world, blah 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 blah, and all of that stuff impacts how things are in PvE and causes things that are worthless in PvE to become even, maybe things that are niche in PvE to become worthless in PvP. It happens, worthless PvE, sorry. I've seen that happen a lot. Viper is a good example. They ruin that set. It's complete incompetence. But here we are, 10 years later. Now, the second reason is the vengeance populations. Don't let this fool you, even though, yes, I will say one campaign is definitely struggling more than others. For example, the Ebonheart Pact right now. We do have a scroll here, so that's probably why they're attacking it. But the amount of players in this campaign at medium is probably like pop-locked for one of the regular campaigns, right? So this many people is actually not... It's not a small amount. And the amount of lag, I think, will be better. I haven't checked that for sure. As I said, I'm not a big PvP player, but I think if you want to check out PvP, this is probably the best time as ever. Because I think the best time for PvP is when the amount of players in a single server is fucking huge. Ball groups are not going to be as big of a thing. I don't think we'll ever get rid of ball groups, and that's fair enough. But it will be way harder for ball groups just to dominate the entire map. Numbers will definitely matter far more than ball groups will. And as well, like, you can't just heal through siege like ball groups used to be able to. There's, there are some skills to heal, and I'm sure there's ways that ball groups will find out how to stop that thing. But yeah, for now, it's this is, I think, the best time. So what you really need to know about PvP is burst is everything, I think, even now. Things that hit hard, like using this with Grim Focus and then try and execute people, is probably a really good thing. So what I'll do here is have like an offensive bar. Does this stun? Does up to 200? Yeah, okay, cool. So try and whittle someone down, hit this when they're at about half health, and then have Grim Focus ready. Deals a ton of damage up to once every 5 seconds. So line these two up. So use this one, then this one. So I don't know what the fuck I was talking about here. Use Grim Focus first, because this is an execute. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. See, you can see why I don't PvP very often. Laugh at damage and stuff like that. As far as I know, I haven't tested yet. I do actually... This is the first time I'm actually interested in PvP, because it is always the most chaotic and enjoyable when there's so many players on the map, and you just can't predict what the fuck is going to happen. Whereas when there's low populations, it's just like they're taking one keep at a time, and it's like, oh, I guess we'll just take this keep while they're doing that. It's so fucking boring. But look at this shit. Look at all the shit that's going on the fucking screen right now. It's just so much shit. There's probably nothing going on in these because they're mile gates. This one would have just been attacked, and then people would just sort of gone through to get to other places. Yeah, these keeps, you got 10 siege weapons here, got 20 packed siege weapons here. So it's not just small fights. You got proper fucking big fights going on here. So I like that, and forward camps as well. I believe you do have a forward camp. Can you summon these? That's a good question. And your quick slots are completely changed, so you should never really have many issues with quick slots anymore. Unless you want to put a pet on there for some reason. So just put all this stuff on here, and you'll never have to worry about stuff again. Because there's no food as well. Food has no effect on you. And your inventory is completely changed. So when you leave Cyrodiil, this is the most interesting thing to me. When you leave Cyrodiil, you lose all this stuff in your inventory, and you get back what you had before. So no matter how clumped your inventory is, it'll mean you don't have to worry about builds, so you don't have to clutter your inventory with different sets, different stuff. You don't have to... I don't know if they remove the ability to get star materials or anything like that, or like node materials in Cyrodiil or anything, but yeah. So you just got these things here, so you put all these on one part of your bar, and then that's it, right? So yeah, like I said before, there's not much flexibility in these. These skills, they no longer have morphs. They're much more basic, and the reason they're so basic is the server performance will be a lot better when they're just like so simple and so bare bones. Now, there is a good argument to be made that they should just buy better servers, but yeah, that I feel like that ship has sailed. As fucking shitty as it is, I don't think that's going to be happening anymore. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, the main thing to remember is Gone Pursuit. A little bit to get here. There is an endeavor for killing players in Cyrodiil as the weekly. I still think this one here is super quick anyway, though. But any of these other ones are. These two here are fine at the moment. Yeah, there's a capturing keep in Cyrodiil daily as well, so there is incentive to do it right now. Yeah, you can see 2 more, so you don't know the ability. I imagine that's an add-on that doesn't know what to do. Yeah, all this does is gives you Major Expedition for 4 seconds. Whereas this just makes you invisible and heals you. Right, so they're so bare bones, but if that means that the campaign is full of players, then fucking alright, whatever. Okay, so that's all the stuff I wanted to talk about with Cyrodiil and the Golden Pursuits. I guess I'll just go through quickly what I would suggest you do here to get these done as fast as possible. Like I said here, just getting participation for killing someone for this is all you need. You don't need to kill them yourself. Easy ways to do this is in keep defenses. Put some siege down and just shoot the shit out of them. And yeah, siege does a lot of damage, especially now that there's like so few skills to heal yourself for a big group. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Towns and Cyrodiil, I hate this one. I would personally just skip it. There's 3 towns in total. You got this one up here, this one here, and this one here. And because there's only 1 campaign right now, these are the only 3 towns you've got. Now, I think they will flip quite quickly. But I still think there's just any of the other ones are better, because you kind of, for a lot of this other stuff, you don't need to just go to a town to do it. You can do these anywhere in Cyrodiil, basically. The zone is a big place, so yeah. Okay. Alliance points. Oh, I should talk about keeps. Keeps, there's 18 keeps in total. It depends on how many keeps are going to be under one faction's control. But as you can see here, it's a bit of a shit show. So, what I would suggest is join a group and see if you can take a keep, because it's a lot harder to take a keep on your own, especially if there's players defending it. Now, there's no flame ballista anymore, so you just use normal ballistas, normal stone trebuchets. That's an interesting thing. There's no fire ballista anymore, so dealing a bunch of damage to players is going to be kind of annoying. I guess you still do have oils, though. And yeah, all you got to do is break the door or break one of the walls down, go in, attack all the NPCs and maybe the players if they're there, and then get through the second door. There's 2 flags on the inside of the keep. You got to take them over. There'll be guard like NPCs and probably players as well defending them. You got to kill them and take the flags. It takes a few minutes for the flags to turn over, especially if you're on your own. It takes ages, so that's another reason why you want to group, because groups take these things super quick, as you probably would have noticed from them taking this one here. That was pretty quick. Alliance points. Best way to do this is just to capture a bunch of keeps. That'll probably get you a bunch, probably 10k each. Battlegrounds are another good way, but battlegrounds are still the way they were before, so they're not actually vengeance. So builds matter a lot more there. So that being said, even if you lose the battleground, you still get a fair bit of AP. So that's one way to do that one. But again, I would probably skip this one too, because it's easy ones. The biggest problem I have with these ones is they say deal damage in Cyrodiil. This is just the players, unlike siege weapons. With siege weapons here. 60,000 damage to structures in Cyrodiil. Yeah, that one's going to be a bit of... Oh, sorry, that's repair. No bad. Never mind. That one's easy. Yeah, these ones here, you can use siege, or you can just use your own damage. Because of how much damage you do in Cyrodiil now, these will actually be pretty quick. 200,000 damage, that's 20 attacks with, like, Veiled Strike or something. That's not much at all. And same thing, 50 attacks, basically, will get you this. This one, what I would suggest you do is, normally, for the dailies, I'd say just go to the Voluntrong spawn locations. They might have no NPCs anymore, but I don't know. What I would suggest is you go to a resource, mines, resources. Mines, farms, and lumber mills. These guys have some guards on the flag. Just put a ballista on the edge and just shoot them. The amount of time it takes, probably a couple of minutes. Not long. 400,000 damage. Yeah, a couple of minutes. But there's 4 guards. You do a fair bit of damage, so yeah, that one's quite easy. Repairing damage to structures in Cyrodiil. Each repair kit of these repairs 5,000 damage to a door. or like a wall or whatever. So that one's really easy to do as well. So that's like, what? 6,000 divided by 5? Yeah, 12 times. So you just need to use 12 repair kits for that. And you don't even have to buy them anymore. So that one's also really easy. So you only need to do 8, as I said before. So you can skip a couple of these. As I said before, towns is definitely one I would skip. And yeah, you only get a bit of alliance points and a little bit of gold. So it's not a super important one. The weekly's pretty good though, 230 seals, that's usually pretty good. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get into the actual dailies themselves. We've got picking locks, destroying flame Atronachs, mining veins of ore, capturing a keep in Cyrodiil, and defeating cycle bosses in the Infinite Archive. Alright, so I think these 3 here will probably be your quickest. Maybe this one, depending on how busy Cyrodiil is. If it's completely pop locked, then this will probably be nuts, and you can probably do this super quick. But yeah. This one relies on other people, sort of, so I don't really like it. 2 cycle bosses is quite a bit for fucking 10 seals. That's quite ridiculous. I would say just do these ones here, especially if you've got a survey. Well, excess surveys at least. Alright, so we'll go through picking locks first. Alright, for picking locks, my preferred method for this is Skywatch. There's 3 buildings here, 1, 2, 3. These always have locked doors. They're only simple locks. The only thing you got to worry about is these guards here. They do come up to the doors and can spot you. Just watch the invisible icon below. If you see that open up, just either hop out or just maybe just be a bit careful. As you can see here, so just gotta wait. Now, as soon as they turn around, you should be okay. As soon as it stops fucking glitching out, because yeah, they don't turn back around. They walk straight out in the same direction they're looking. Now, I do recommend walking away, not going inside. Because there are people that will spot you sometimes, and they'll tell you to leave, and you'll get a bounty if you stay too long. That can be a problem, because getting a bounty here is a pain in the ass. The guards here are everywhere, especially on the way to where you're going, so yeah, it's not a good idea to do that. Alright, so now that you've done all 3 locks, you might think, well, there's 3 locks done. What do we do now? There's only 3 there. What you got to do now is just leave the zone and then just come back. Alright, now we go check the doors again. As we can see, they're locked again. So, all 3 of them will be locked once again. You can just go get 2 more of those, and that's an easy way to do it. It's better than the other method, which I'll explain now, which is chests, because you're not competing with other people for chests. That being said, I imagine a lot of people will be in Vengeance right now, not worrying about chests too much. But yeah, that's usually what I recommend. Getting to Skywatch, what you're going to do is go a bit north of Vulcan Guard here. There is a house here you can go to, Mathiisen Manor. Look this one up on home tours, through here. Go browse homes, not recommend, because sometimes that doesn't work too well. But, I like turtles. Alright, so the other way is to get chests in public dungeons, so same thing, just pick the locks and that's it. Just make sure you do not force the locks for any of this stuff, because that will not work. Not forced, anyway. So, I'll link in the description for public dungeons that I usually use. These are Forgotten Crypts here, Labyrinthian, Reslex Wheel, and Obsidian Scar. These are the 4 I think that are best for chest locations, because the areas are small and the amount of chests there are all over the place is quite large. So you can use that to get your endeavor done pretty quick. But again, in here you're competing with other people for these chests, so just be prepared for a bit of a fight. Alright, Flame Atronachs, these things here. Now, I don't really suggest using this place for Fire Atronachs. This area has tons of them. This is where fucking everybody's going to be, so that, like, you're just going to be running around like a headless chicken trying to look for them. If you see them, definitely run for it and just hit them, like that one there. It'll probably be dead by the time you get there, right? So, I'll try and get this one. Yeah, see? Yeah, this place I don't think is very good for getting Atronachs. There are a couple of other places where you can get these things in like, Overland. Vardenfell, I'm pretty sure it's this this set of ruins here. I think these ones too, there's Fire Atronachs there, and you can kill them. There's also this area over here, I believe, has some Fire Atronachs. There's areas over this way, I believe, that have Fire Atronachs. I'm not 100% sure, though. That or one of these areas here. I think it's next to Shacklebreaker. But I don't think using any of these is wise, because just players are just going to come in there and just kill them, and just have to wait for them to respawn. My only recommended way to do this is to use Green Shade, the dungeon City of Ash 1. Alright, so City of Ash. Come down here. Ignore these guys aren't relevant, it's a bunch of scamps. This fire here, this is what you're looking for. A fire Atronach spawn. Kill them and the little scamps, that's one. Now these fires here, they have to be enemies around them for them to be relevant. So this one here. That's two. Now I think, from yesterday, the Stone Atronachs Endeavor, I think like Warlock type enemies that create those pillars, those totems, I think those work for the Stone Atronach Endeavor. I'm not 100% sure, but a good friend of mine explained that he used other totems from other bosses, ones that aren't those kinds of totems. I guess they are the same thing, but yeah. So this area here, there's 2 Fire Atronachs that spawned from these groups. There's a lot of enemies here though, so sometimes I'm not a big fan of using them, just because I think once you kill these guys, I think you're just better off going over here. Even these guys here, I think they're a waste of time, because there's like 2 groups that pull. Whereas over here, you got this group. And then you got this group over here, which also spawns one. This group is quite large too, but yeah, this one. Yeah, that totem there, I think that one works for the Stone Atronach. Yeah, I find that group just to be a lot easier to deal with. And then you've got other Atronachs over here. There's one there. There's a couple over that way, but you only need 5, so that's all you need, right? So let's move on. I'll just quickly explain how to get to City of Ash 1, if you haven't been here before. As soon as you get here for the first time, you don't have to worry about getting here again, because it'll be accessible by a Waystone anytime. And don't worry about how tough the enemies are, believe me. All you need is, like, Vigor. For those who don't do dungeons much, all you need really is Vigor. A ability that heals you when it deals AoE damage, that's why I like Nightblades and Sorcerer so much. But yeah, like, an AoE, a couple of ground AoEs as well, like this, that's all you need. Alright, so looking for a house, Cliffshade, this one here. So let's travel to any of these. Alright, so we rock up here, just south of Marbrook. Now, if you've got this way shown by default, you can use this one. But if you take the boat streams, it takes you over here. It's a bloody pain in the ass, so you might as well just use this. And then the way shop will unlock automatically when you get here. Alright, so all you want to do is travel this way. There's a couple of enemies here, but they're not super difficult. On horse, you can get through them relatively quickly. Alright, so through Drilladon Pass door. So if your horse has got low stamina, if this stat is very low, I suggest that you just... okay, so don't go this way. What you can do is you can come over here, quick sprint. These guys can't follow you down here. Then you go here, over here. There'll be a couple of enemies here usually. All you got to do is just go through here. But as you can see, I'm moving pretty quick. I don't have any stamina, so... but yeah, you can just speed past, and if you're quick, you'll take a couple of hits, and you might get knocked off your horse, but yeah, that's about it. So you come past these guys here, don't engage them. And City of Ash 1 is here. And you just go through there, and you just make sure you choose Razor's Edge. You can get Fire Atronachs in the second version, but they are way fucking tougher. Well, the Fire Atronachs are weaker, I think, but the bosses, the shit that you have to deal with otherwise is quite tough, so I don't recommend that too much. Okay, now we get to mining 8 veins ore. This one's not great. I've just been checking for like the last 10 minutes, didn't find anything. Cragthorn is, I think, the best place to go if you want to look for this stuff, because Cragthorn nodes, or blacksmithing ones anyway, have a chance to get potent node crocs, which is a good, or both potent and fortified node crocs are good. But this is the most busy place at the moment. There's tons of people running around. So if you want an easier place, oh, there's another one. Sometimes they can spawn right under your nose. Yeah, so you've got tons and tons of zones. I don't think Cyrodiil is a option you've got anymore, but yeah, every other zone's fine. Now it's very RNG heavy. Sometimes you'll get tons, sometimes you won't. It's just luck of the draw. Try and find zones that nobody else is using. Late alliance zones tend to be pretty good. Like older DLC zones, not really Rothgar, but these ones here tend to be pretty alright too. But yeah, just not. I find Craghorn to be ridiculously busy, and I also find the Isles, Blickrock, any of the trainee zones, these ones here, I find those to also be quite busy. So yeah, you can do that. Now, some things to help you out. Firstly, there is a USP post. I will USP link that I will give you. This one here. So if you're looking for certain ore types that drop for you, Rubidite ore, for example, is probably the most common one. You'll be able to check this to know what it looks like. And once you know what that one there is, you know every other, like every Rubidite ore looks like. They all have the same appearance. The Voidstone, you've got all these here. You can check them. The one that you get is dependent on your level. 50% between your character's level, 50% between your blacksmithing level, this passive here. So if you get 10 out of 10 and max level, you only get Rubidite. So I think getting a max level in both metalworking and max level character for this is great, because you only get Rubidite, and that shit is like so easy to spot from the distance. It's like bright blood red. Everything else, aside from maybe like Voidstone ore, blends in really well with the environment, and Voidstone ore blends in with bloody Cold Harbor as well. So I will say Cold Harbor's a pretty good zone too. I should point that out. All these zones here are also pretty good. This one here, I don't find the Daedric zones to be pretty good though. They tend to have less stuff. Same with the caverns, like in Western Skyrim, for example. Oh god. Oh my god! Fucking look at that. Sometimes you'll get really lucky. This one just respawned again. That's the thing. There's so many people running around getting these ores that these things are just going to spawn super quick. And another one. So if you can, there's two passives you want in the green CP tree. Master Gatherer, Plentiful Harvest. Increases the speed and increases how much you get, usually. So those two can be very helpful for you. Also, getting a build that's fast is also really beneficial. Have a horse that's max speed at least. So if you've got any blacksmithing surveys, like these ones, you can use surveys to get 6 nodes quickly, and they're instant, so nobody else can grab these ones. So just grab these here, and they will count. There are some worth a lot more. Again, the Master Gatherer and Plentiful Harvest champion points are really good here, because they will speed up how quickly you can get this stuff, and will also double the yield sometimes. Now this stuff's really good too, because the weekly is refined raw materials, so the more of this stuff you can get just to refine for that endeavor, the better. Because that is, without a doubt, the quickest endeavor to do. By, like, not even, like, hours, I would say. Depending on how good you are in PvP. Right, so last thing I'll say about mining ore is every single spot where you see these... Like, this is a harvest map, by the way. I'll put that in the description too if you want this add-on. Every one of these has a 50% chance to be a jewelry scene, which don't work. So that's why this one's a pain in the arse. Because half the time you get bloody jewelry scenes, and it just means you just waste so much time. That's why Craghorn's so busy, because everyone's like, oh, it's jewelry scene, I'm gonna get something else. Because yeah, unfortunately they don't count. Even though they are considered like really technically an ore. But yeah, unfortunate that. Alright, so last one to talk about. We've got 2 cycle bosses in the Infinite Archive. This one's going to take a couple of maybe 10 or 20 minutes, depending on how quickly you can get through. You want a decent build for this. Orders Wrath and Mother Sorrow is like something that you can use. But yeah, some of the bosses can be a pain in the ass. To get here, you need to go to a Wayshrine. Doesn't matter what DLCs you got, you can access the Infinite Archive at any time from a Wayshrine, so you just enter that. Okay, so to get to 2 cycle bosses, you need to beat 2 stages, get 1 cycle boss. This is a stage. It's just regular enemies. They get tougher and tougher as time goes on, but in the first arc it's not too bad. Put some food on if you can, just to make it quicker. So go for the range enemies first, because the all the melee enemies will pour on to the range enemies usually, and the melee enemies are not usually as big of a deal. So on the 3rd wave of stages, sometimes you'll get one of these realm shapers, or these tier 1 enemies, these dangerous foes. God, that still hit me. What the fuck? Hello? Interrupt, please. Alright, so every time you beat a stage... Sorry, a bit crazy there. You get a verse. These are powerful buffs that last until the next stage or cycle. Some of these can be really good. I try to use the damage ones early on, because the enemies aren't really that bad. They're just damage sponges when you get to the cycle bosses, so being able to kill them as quick as possible is really useful. But sometimes you just get shit. Like, man, I love getting fucking the guild verse, the one that does fucking nothing. Oh, well, what do you know? So I should have pointed out before. Maybe do this one first if you're gonna do it, because you might get a couple of fire Atronachs while you do it. I wouldn't rely on this though. The odds of you getting one, as opposed to the other 15,000 enemy types, is quite low. Alright. These Minotaurs. These Minotaurs are usually not too bad. There's another one that's a pain in the ass, but this one's usually fine. Compared to the ones in bloody Fuckwith Hold, these ones are bloody pushovers. Alright, second verse. Magical Multitudes, pretty good. A bit finicky though. If you get it on the boss, it does tons of damage. If you don't, you might as well not have a verse. Alright, what's your Ozazai? So, old mate Fungal Goro. Alright, let's see if we can spawn Magical Multitudes. Yeah, this Magical Multitudes thing, I didn't get a single proc. Like, look at this shit. What are we doing? Most fucking useless verse. Didn't even proc once. Alright, now we get Muniment chests. You get some goodies from killing the bosses. And that's halfway through. Now we get a vision. These last the entire archive run. Some of these are shit. Fire damage taken, like who fucking cares? Adaptive Athlete is okay. Yeah. Athlete's pretty good. Get more sustain the further you go down the sustain hole. But yeah, that other one is fucking pointless. It's only good if you're going to do a really long archive run, because then you'll get the full, like it's part of a set, and the set. The polymorph that you get for the set is kind of the main reason you use it, because those are very handy for marauders, which are so fucking obnoxious. Alright, what other verse are we going to get? Beat down. I have a lot of penetration anyway, but whatever. These arquebuses, good to go for, because they're the ranged version. I mean, they're all ranged really, but the arquebuses are way more dangerous. What's the last shitty verse that we get? Oh, what do you fucking know? One of the most fucking useless ones. Oh, whatever. Just increase the damage of bloody trap at least. It's good if you've got a bunch of scribing skills. Not scribing skills like these ones, but you need to have a fuck ton for it to be worth it. Oh no, it's not even guild. You need to have the guild ones even then. There's only like 3. And pretty sure only 2 of them do damage. And one's a fucking channel, for fuck's sake. Oh yeah, so when these spawn, you gotta go into these AoEs. When he goes, oh yeah, they'll light up and go golden, and that's when you enter them. Now. Oh, what? Oh, fucking hell. Shit, I thought it was all of them. Well, now I know. That's annoying. Really? For the first arc? That scene is fucking rushed. Alright, here we go. There we go. This one. Just standing here. The way he does this is basically like Agonian Behemoth from Maelstrom. He's just sitting there doing nothing. Got away at him. Alright, and that's it. And a minimate chest, and now we move on. Don't need to get the vision. You can get it if you want, but... ew. That's a lot, I guess. Okay. Now I'll just talk briefly about doing a keep. I would go further, but man, I'm just fucked right now. It's not good for my health. Alright, so... TLDR, gonna break through the outer wall. I should probably... Sorry, I'll put music on so I'm not listening to me die. So... You need to get through the outer rim here. You've got a door here, which is the quickest way to get through by far. You've also got walls around here. These are your secondary method. As you can see here, these walls are damaged, so you can repair them for the Gone Pursuit, if that would happen. You can check for them with these bloody... Why am I talking about the bloody Bearing Endeavor? Put down that one. Oh, you can only have one. That's rough. That is rough. Okay, so you pretty much need to have a group, unless you want this to take fucking two days to break a keep. Because one battering ram, one ballista, one stone trebuchet. That's going to take fucking yonks to get through a campaign, like to a keep. So find a group. Right now with this campaign, like 40 minutes ago, this campaign was fucked. Like we had nothing. Like they were at our scroll keeps. We've gotten one scroll back, and we got our home keeps back, and it looks like we're getting this one as well. So just come back every now and then. This place will liven up, especially when it gets to prime time. That's the only thing. When it's prime time, there'll probably be so many people in the campaign that you might not be able to join. But yeah, so this is the only campaign you've got right now. So unfortunately, there's only 18 keeps, but it will constantly change so much that you should be able to get it. So let me go through. You need to break through this door here. What I would suggest you do is put some siege down here. Battering ram on the door would be the best way to go. Or some ballistas here. Or if the enemy is attacking you too much while you're trying to do this with oils and stuff, step back a bit, put some stone trebuchets down, and try and hit the wall. Because walls are easier to hit. They take longer to breach, but yeah, they're easier to break through, because the enemy has a bit of a harder time counter-sieging you. Once you get into this area here, you need to kill all the guard NPCs and any players in the area as well, if they rock up. And then you'll do the same thing, but instead of a huge wall, there's 3 entry areas, like entry sources. So you've got the keep door, which is the quickest. Again, enemy players can put oils down and severely limit your progress. You can also hit, especially from these areas here where the enemy players will have a harder time attacking you, you can attack these postern walls as well. These will break down, you better get through them as well. And you can hit the flag from the side. Just always be careful, there's usually going to be players oiling up the front door. Or like having a ballista in the, or like a catapult. Do we not have catapults? We don't have catapults. What the fuck? Where did catapults go? Interesting. Okay, so these 2 flags are the things you need to take. Kill the guards on them, take the flags, and sit on them for a while. The more players on the flag, the quicker they'll get taken. And the closer the keep is to your side, the easier it'll be to get back if you mess up. That's the biggest issue I have with this one. These ones here are a lot harder to fail. You can fail this one, but like players aren't going to stop you from completing it again. So yeah, I still think these are better, but if you want to do the Gone Pursuit at the same time, that's definitely an option. Because keeps aren't too bad. Compared to towns, keeps are fine, I think. Alright, if you got any questions for me, just let me know as always. But yeah, that's daily's done. God, it's going to be a long video. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. Weekly should be out later tonight. But yeah, I'll see you all next time.